What's up, everyone? So some really big NBA news broke out yesterday when it was reported that James Harden not only demanded a trade, but prefers to go to the Brooklyn Nets. Fans were thinking that the Nets were going to form a superstar big three of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden that would immediately make them title favorites. But it might be time to pump the brakes on that dream because the Nets and Rockets are currently at an impasse. According to Adrian Wojnarowski, after turning down an extension offer to become the first $50 million a year player in league history, James Harden's message to Houston is clear: get me to Brooklyn. Rockets and Nets have been in contact, but there's been no meaningful dialogue. So why is there no meaningful dialogue between both the Rockets and Nets? Well, Woj wrote on ESPN that the Nets aren't offering a package that the Rockets desired. According to Woj, so far, Harden's determination to get to Brooklyn has resulted in no progress toward that end. Houston and Brooklyn have been in contact, but so far haven't engaged in meaningful dialogue, sources said. The Rockets want a massive return of assets for Harden and are willing to be patient to find that in the marketplace. So far, there's no indication the Rockets believe the Nets could deliver a package that fits that profile. Now, we don't really know what the Nets have offered, but it's been speculated that the Nets offered a package of something around Jared Allen, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Caris LeVert. This is a good group of players, but the Rockets understandably want more. Say what you want about Harden, but he's a top 10 player in the NBA, and he's put up some of the greatest offensive numbers the league has ever seen. He's also right in his prime at age 31 and still has 2 years left on his contract. It's understandable that the Rockets aren't willing to part with Harden unless they get a massive haul in return. Woj goes on to say, because Harden is under contract for multiple years, Houston has the ability to slow play the process, flesh out offers, and use that time to try to change Harden's mind. Houston's preference has remained to work through the issues and keep him long term, but that's clearly a difficult road right now. So from the looks of it, the Rockets are in no rush to trade Harden. I think this is very smart from the Rockets' perspective. There's no reason to jump at the first trade offer just because Harden wants out. Unless they get an offer that blows them out the water, why trade him now? The smart thing to do is to wait it out. This is a pretty weak free agency class with very little stars available. Other teams like the Clippers, Bucks, and Sixers will look to catch the Lakers, so the Rockets could hold on to Harden and try to create a bidding war for him and then deal him to the highest bidder. The fact that this is a weak free agency class probably increases his market value. The Rockets could even wait until next year's trade deadline to move him if they don't like the offers for him. So overall, I like what the Rockets are doing here in waiting it out until they get a monster package for Harden. Harden is a top 10 player and he's under contract until 2022. The Rockets should negotiate from a position of strength. As for the Nets, I know it's very alluring to create a superstar big three, but I don't think it's a great idea to trade everything they have for Harden. They already figure to be a contender next year, so why take that risk? If they trade Jared Allen, Caris LeVert, Dinwiddie, and all their future picks, they lose not only their best defender, but they also lose valuable roster depth and future assets to help bolster the team. Yes, Harden, Kyrie, and KD would score a ton of points, but they would also give up a lot of points with no elite rim protector or elite perimeter defenders. And anyone who's watched the NBA for any length of time knows you have to be a top offense and top defense to win a title. Furthermore, Harden's Super Bowl dominant style of play could take a while to mesh with KD and Kyrie, who are also ball dominant themselves. I think this is part of the reason Kyrie reportedly doesn't want Harden in Brooklyn. Overall, I don't think the Nets should pull the trigger if they have to unload all their assets. If they could get Drew Holiday without giving too much, that would be smart. But don't take the risk of trading everything for Harden when you're set to be a contender next year anyway. Anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. What do you think of Houston's perspective? What should they look to get back in a Harden trade, or should they hold on to him and try to convince him to stay? Should the Nets give up the farm for Harden? Tell me in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel, and enjoy the rest of your day.